Alright, this is a recap of this morning's trade. So when I woke up actually this morning, this was the only news. It was supposed to be all day, didn't have a time. But apparently Trump snuck some 1 p.m. orange folder in there. I wasn't trading the PM anyways. So I take Command Shift 4 to highlight and screenshot that, then Command Tab to come over to my notes. Then our screenshot is already at that corner down there, so we just drag it. Sometimes you miss it though, and then you gotta take another screenshot, or you gotta go through your folders and all this. Then we come over here, S&P 500, micro NASDAQ 100. So clearly we closed under this low, right? So that means our direction was down, bearish. So we knew that we were bearish by this morning for sure when this candle printed. I mean, we already knew we were bearish, but we definitely knew we were bearish by the time that this printed at 2 a.m. this morning. So boom, bearish on ES. And then over here, we also, by 6 a.m. this morning, we knew that we were bearish on NQ. So by 6 a.m., we could say that we were officially double bearish. So this is on the 4 hour. 4 hours king when it comes to lower time frame biases. Anything, if you're trading anything lower than 4 hours, you're going to want to use the 4 hour bias, Command Shift. Alright, so we're going to bring this over here. Bearish. And today we did catch a win, fortunately. And I could have catched another one in gold, but I tilted for my first time in my funded since this is my second time trying to do this. Not like my second funded, but like my second time, like 3 months later from failing all the time with coming back with a better approach. So that was my first time tilting, so I didn't want to try to trade too much today because I'm just trying to recoup from last Thursday because I took out half a month's worth of earnings in one day. So go to the 15-minute. Over here. So this is actually what I caught. So my strategy is 4 hour bias, sweep of a 15-minute high, low, or order block, and market structure shift. So we swept this on a 1 to 3 minute time frame. So we barely swept this high. You can see it though. We zoom in on it. You see that? We're over that yellow line right there. See that? So we swept that yellow line. And I'm thinking, all right, so I didn't know if it was going to sweep this one, this high, because I'm looking at the open and closes right here. I'm like, it doesn't have to sweep the wicks, it just has to sweep the open and closes. Well, that's what it seems like at least. I don't know if I had to sweep here, if I had to sweep here, if I had to sweep here, but it turned around after it swept here. The algorithm's job is every time it sweeps a 15-minute high, it has to retrace back to equilibrium of the range that swept the high. So since this swept this high right here, now it has to retrace the equilibrium of that range. That is what it did. That is just the algorithm. It doesn't mean that it's going to do that every time, but if it gives you the turnaround at that point, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, and especially depending on how clean the action is, you can tell if there's some sloppy action, then it's probably going to perform the algorithm. And not only that, this is also OTE of the London range. It's actually past that. It's 79's right here, so this is damn near like, or 80% retracement or whatever. And then over here, I saw that we actually swept this high, and closed, and damn near got up into this one. We didn't even really, we got into the wick of that order block over here, but we got into the whole body of that order block over here. So I assume that ES swept enough liquidity from the order block that it's probably a good time to go short. And then so based off of this sweeping all of these, and it swept all these, and technically one could say that this is a SMT divergence because we swept these right here, and this, my yellow is sweep of liquidity, my blue line is a market structure shift, and my purple is a SMT divergence. So technically, or whatever this color is, we have a SMT divergence as well. So now we go into a 1 minute time frame. 1, 2, 3 don't matter. Well, we'll see if it actually mattered today, because you might not have seen this on a 2-minute. Oh yeah, it was cleaner on a 2-minute actually. On a 1-minute it's fine, but see, we see a little consolidation right here. We see manipulation right here. Boom, swept, and then it came up and swept a little bit more, and then market structure shift. So sweep and then a market structure shift. And actually, we could take this to the 2-minute, because on the 2-minute that's actually where I did take it. And then so enter in the fair value gap that is actually in equilibrium. So if you're right here, I only came over here, so I wasn't clicking on the indicator. Excuse me. So sell right there, and then I was risking 30. That's exactly where I entered. That's exactly how much I risked, and I was only going for a 3-to-1. So that's all I was going for. If I was trading 2 contracts though, I would have took a 3-to-1 off, and I would have left the runner going. So JW minimal, it's my projections. So that's boom, $90 with these projections right here. And I'm technically, I can hold until we pull back into a low that's under equilibrium. So really I should be targeting like this or that and third. But you can see that there's a low that was really close to equilibrium right there, but it wasn't. And then there was this imbalance right there. And then there's this low right here. So did we even sweep that low? We didn't sweep this low right here, but we swept most of this candle right here. So basically we swept, or technically, I mean, if we're being technical, we could say that this is a low, but I'm going to just say take it at equilibrium because that's easier. Did it target any lows? I mean, this low technically got swept too, but any low in equilibrium. But once you get a 3-to-1, it's like, man, it's like, because I could have held down here in 159. That would have been sweet. If I was risking 2 contracts, I would have taken one off this first time right here, and then it retraced up here, and I probably would have got stopped out at break even. But if I didn't move my stop loss up to break even, and I just took this as a retracement, then I would have, I either would have made $87 and then lost 30 if I left the runner and we did get stopped out, or I would have made $90 and then that other one would have kept on going and I could have made 162 on the runner. That would have been nice, but I just took, since I'm only trading 1 contract, I got to close the full position, 1 micro. So I got out there with a 3-to-1, and just for my notes' sake, because I was doing more explaining than I was journaling. This is mainly supposed to be a journal video for myself, essentially, unless people actually start watching these videos and asking questions. But right. Alright, so OTE met that. I don't know what happened to the indicator. Command Shift 4, Command Tab, and then so we got 3 things right here. We got OTE, we got SMT, we got order block ES, and sweep of I, Q. Alright, and then we go look at the point where it actually turned around on a lower time frame, and yeah, I nailed this one, I'm not gonna lie. And then I get on YouTube and I see TJR, I see Justin Werlin, and I see that one, I don't know who she is, that one white girl who trades ICT, who just interviewed the Wall Street number one guy the other day in like the front office. But I caught this trade before all of them. I went on YouTube and they were all YouTube live still trying to find their setup or their trade. So I just realized that I'm really on a different path, but we are all ICT traders. But I came in here and I got down and dirty into business real quick and got off. They were still going. But we have different trade styles, so. And TJR, in fairness, he made like 65,000 this morning. And then he was trading up a funded prop firm when I got on YouTube Live. So he might have caught the same trade I caught, and then he was still trading just this funded account for his channel, just for educational purposes. But 3-1 buckets. And that was my trade. So, and then, shit. I don't know if I should make a whole nother video on this or, and then on gold. This is just a trade I could have caught, but I didn't catch. It's going to be the same story as the last. So we were clearly bullish as a motherfucker. Put that there. This is my SMT. I gotta change it to my market structure shift. So we were bullish over here. And switch the time frame. 15 minute. Alright. Boom. You can see it was good old. There was actually a move right here when this swept this 15-minute low. There was an actual entry to hit here, but that's like 5:45 to like 6:10 in the morning or something like that. So, but this move right here I actually caught. So this one was actually OTE. So the OTE. Shit. Notes. Straight over to gold. And the only reason I didn't catch this one, which I honestly could have, is because I'm debating on if I still want to trade gold, because I think people don't trade gold because it is a worldly type commodity. So news from all over the world can affect it. So right here, I just be looking at USD, because for USD, you use that for futures, which is I'm pretty sure like American business. And I think if you're trading gold, though, you want to have news from everywhere on, and then check the times. So I think, but needless to say, we got the same story here. OTE, order blocks, lows being swept. And then coming to a lower time frame. And I was like, damn, should I take this? And because shoot. So on a 1 minute, we got this displacement market structure shit, but we got no fair value gap. So we come over, this is 1 minute, no entry. So we come over into the 2 minute, and we actually get, it's a little bit less displacement on the close, but we still closed over this and we still closed over that. So market structure shift. And then we actually have a fair value gap right here. And that fair value gap is in equilibrium. So we got a 4-hour bias, a 15-minute sweep, and then a market structure shift at the area with displacement and a fair value gap. So I'm putting it under this low. I could put it up here, my stop loss there, I could put it there. Either way though, the reason I didn't take this is because if I'm only going to target half of the range, and the range is only this big though, that means if I'm taking off at a high that's in equilibrium, that means I'm getting out like right either here at those first little highs right here, or I'm getting out right there, which is a 2-to-1, a little bit less than a 2-to-1. And then I could have targeted up here, and that's almost a 3-to-1, and I could have targeted these highs, and that would have been fire. And I could have used my Justin Weirland fib to for projections. So from this low up to this high, and I could have even held a little bit more and would have been fine. But since we were at an all-time high, and this is the highest it's been, I don't really know how much further it could go. So I'd rather see it, you know what I'm saying, make a range like this, like a range like I'd rather see it retrace like this far, and then that way I could like have a range to like catch a trade from here to there or something. But since this range was only from here to there, my rules would have had to get me out here. But also on some Sniper Scout series, the Sniper Scout series is if you enter anywhere in here at OTE, you can hold to the top of this range. And since this was a retracement into OTE, coming off of this order block, sweeping these lows, I very well could have taken this trade, and I could have used a Sniper Scout model versus the 2022 model, which is taking your TP at a lower high in equilibrium or an imbalance in equilibrium. But the Sniper Scouts one is taking your entry at the top of the range. So this range right here on the 15 minute, I would have had to take it there. And yeah, I could have got this trade, and man, I would have been that dude this morning if I would have done that. But I just wanted to recoup because I tilted last Thursday. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and screenshot this though. It's on some shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I'm up for the day, so can't complain. I'm still down from last week, but I'm not even caring if I'm making money or losing money. I just want to learn. Alright, what is that? A smooth divided by 57, 3-to-1, really 3.01 to 1. Let's call it 3-to-1. Alright, those are this morning's recap. Don't think that, just know that if you learn from ICT, you might have a different style than TJR, Justin Weirland, or whoever that white shorty was. Hold up. Because you can only be as great as the teacher or the guru, really, until you master what they got going on, and then you build on from there. But this shorty right here, Tanja. Yeah, before Justin Weirland, Tanja, and TJR were all trading live still, and I'm like, damn, I already beat him to the punch, and I'm like, aren't they the guys though? But there is some fellow classmates, yo. So, all right.